Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. Well, we're back to the grind, as they say. Back at the office. That beautiful trip we had, my wife and I, is behind us. And as my wife puts it, well, the quicker we get to the grind, the quicker we'll get to our vacation. So she's been telling me that well, since we've been married many decades. So there you have it. And having said that, it's not because we're in the process of showing you what I believe was the ultimate fountain pen vacation with a Grail pen odyssey to die for. It's not because we went through that we're going to lose sight of the fact that we can't Grail hunt and buy every week of the year. That there are some budget pens out there that interest me and hopefully interest you, and that I'd like to share with you. And that's exactly what we have for you today. Another budget pen from a manufacturer that I frankly never heard of before, by the name of BANJU, and we'll get into it a little bit more detail about what this company, what this company is, where does it come from, etc., and the particular pen that I've chosen for you in terms of their various offerings. I think it's a worthwhile pen to look at. It's been teasing me for a while. It's been in my cart on AliExpress for several weeks, even prior to me leaving on vacation. Just prior thereto, I ordered it and received it this week, and I thought I'd review it for you. So here it is. It's the BANJU Ferris wheel. So here is the box that it comes in. Very minimalistic, not expensive in terms of, it's not elaborate. BANJU design made in China. There you have it. What I find a little bit, there's the logo, what I believe is their logo. A little bit finicky here is that it's hard to get the box out, but once you get it out, it's got some very nice literature, I got to tell you. Very nice card here. It's written in Chinese, so I can't tell you exactly what's written on this particular card. But as you could see, from what I understand here, we've got, it's upside down. We've got BANJU, and we've got the wood grain that, as we shall see, is part of this pen. I wish I could tell you what this says, but I can't. Here is the pen, and we'll get to this booklet in a second. So the pen is in this kind of cardboard sleeve, tucked nicely, nothing fancy. I think this pen is gorgeous, but having said that, let's just put that aside for a second, and let's take a look at this booklet. The booklet does have some English in it. It's a certificate of authenticity, and here, let me read to you some literature that they share with us. We believe that your love for BANJU is not only because of one single product, but also because of the string of stories behind and the fact that you love to write. It's the ring in the sky. So I don't know if I should refer this pen to the ring in the sky or the Ferris wheel. Material wood, the material, there's wood in it. It gives you the dimensions and the weight. Ring in the sky, and let me just read this for you. A Ferris wheel reminds us of our childhood and happy moments and passes us happiness, completeness, romance, and nostalgia. It looks like a ring decorating the sky. Only with support from steel wires fixed to the wheel can we enjoy the magnificent scenery from high above. In the course of Banju's development, many total strangers have always been giving us their attention, advice, and suggestions. Support and warmth rendered by each and every of them is to us like those steel wheels to the ring in the sky. It is the support and kindness from strangers that has brought a better world to us all. We take this pen as a token of our gratefulness. May all those who have passed us their love and happiness obtain their completeness. So it gets a little philosophical in my mind, but it is a fountain pen. It gives you fountain pen filling instructions for both the fountain pen and the roller and pen refill systems. In the second page, we get to know a little bit more about the company, about Banju. Banju was created on July the 1st, 2016 with brand positioning. I'm not sure I understand what that means. New aesthetic, stationary, scientific, and technologic and industrial technology improvement in China makes some processes become possible and quality becomes stable. Banju presents you with unique and interesting products through original design and independent research and development. We hope that you will feel being carried and loved, experience surprises, and find us reliable with our products. It does give a website. I try to go on that website and it didn't work. I'm not sure. Mind you, I typed in the address as opposed to following the scanning of the code there of the bar. But having said that, that's what they go into the brand concept. Writing always rubs our feelings and the nuances of life. A person's life and mood are imprinted on many writing tools after long-term using. What Banju is doing is to deliver the beauty of writing beyond writing, as well as to demonstrate a unique and interesting lifestyle by designing stationaries that are beautiful and useful. Now you can tell that the translation's a little bit weird, but as often is the case between Chinese and English, especially if it's done by Google. But having said all of that, that is the pen. One thing that I do agree on is the originality, at least I believe. So nice packaging. Let's take a look at the pen. I find this pen intriguing. I think what the first thing that hits you is this cap. In my introductory video, I've termed it as, an imposing matte cap. I love that metal, the matte finish, and take a look at that. I think that's a very, very nice design in that finial cap there that we see, and the way it works with the pen, so that it kind of gives you that big cap, and it kind of slenders out as we go down to the bottom finial. I also like the wood barrel. Very nice finish, I got to tell you. Very smooth. It comes in different colors. There's kind of a reddish tone, a blue tone, a gray tone, and then this green. I would have loved to have ordered the blue, but at the time I ordered, it was sold out. I believe there's more now since. One thing about this pen, it took a long time to get delivered. I don't know why, but it did take quite a bit of time. So maybe things have changed, or maybe we have to be patient. Having said that, on the center band, all we have is made in China and the name of Banju with the with the logo, same logo that appears on the finial. As far as the clip is concerned, it's a kind of a spring clip, so that works very, very nice. There you have the outside. I think it's a very, very pretty pen. It opens up very nicely. You can feel the quality in this pen. It's got some girth at the cap level, but it is otherwise a fairly small pen, I would say to you, both in length and in girth in terms of the actual barrel. As you can see, it barely fits in my hand. The good news about it, though, is that it does feel very, very, a quality pen, and when it posts, that thing just sits there. Now, the posting is kind of, because the barrel is much smaller, I've got a feeling it's not, perfect. In terms of it being secure, it is, but I just feel there's a little bit of bend there that shouldn't be, but that's just aesthetic, because it is otherwise very comfortable, and it sits in that nook of my hand very nicely. There you have the pen. The section is the same metal, but a shinier metal than you have on the cap, and it matches that center band, if you will. It's got a little more shine. Now, one thing I would have loved to seen in this pen, and would have made all the difference, I think, is if it had a number 6 size nib. But having said that, number 5 size nibs, and some of these Chinese pens have surprised me before. I have not inked this pen. There's the plastic feed, so I don't know how it will perform, but stay tuned. We'll explore that together. But maybe, given the size of the pen, the number 5 nib is what suits it the best, as a matter of fact. Now, let me just remove the posting. It is a cartridge converter. Converter is kind of on the cheapy side, if you will. It's got the little ball that, if we can, will be removed. There you have it. It's not a screw-in mechanism. It's steel, so I'm not sure you'll be able to high drop this pen, and I certainly would not recommend it. But there you have it. I think that wood is very, very nice. I like the feel of it. I like the finish of this pen. It's done very, very nicely. It kind of reminds me of Hongdian quality, and we'll do some comparisons later with what I think this pen competes with in terms of the market. But there you have it. That's the pen on the outside. Oh, one just more thing. Let me just check. We'll put some light in there. Yeah, there is a sleeve there that is meant to keep it from drying, which is very, very good news. There you have it. But otherwise, the finish of this pen, I've got to tell you, it's high quality, sturdy. It's got some weight to it. Very nice. And if you prefer smaller pens that post, well, there you have it. It's a good choice. So we'll be right back with a pen comparison. Okay, so here's the pen comparison. Let me just take out my glass pointer. First of all, we have our Hongdian 1860 Max Forest. Then we have our FC Faber-Castell grip, the Faber-Castell Excel. We have the new Sailor, Twist? And we have the Endless Captiva that I've reviewed recently as, entry line type of budget pens. And I think this is meant to compete with that. In terms of size, as you can see, it's the smallest of the gang, but it does compete very nicely in terms of quality and feel. And provided that the nib performs as well as all the other pens that you have here, at least my experience in all the other pens performed really nicely. As you can tell, it does have, suspiciously enough, a kind of a Hongdian look when we compare these two pens. Different design, but the look and the feel is very, very much Hongdian. So that's the good news, folks, because Hongdian has not disappointed me yet. They're slow out of the gun this year. I haven't produced very much, but maybe they're doing so under different brand names. I'm not sure what the issue is there, but we haven't seen much from them. But we see Banju all of a sudden, at least on AliExpress, when I do a search, it kind of pops up with different offerings. And this may not be the only one that I purchase, so stay tuned for that. So those are the pens capped. Here are the pens uncapped. And again, my subject Banju appears to be the smaller of the gang here, both in length and in girth, I would say. The nib does resemble quite a bit the nib on the Faber-Castell, as you can tell, which is very curious there. So there you have it. The rest, the Hongdian is kind of a number 6 size. So is the Captiva. And then, of course, the Sailor is completely different type of nib. But there you have the pens uncapped. Here you have the pens posted. And, you know, this grip doesn't post very nicely. The Hongdian does. The Sailor does as well, and so does the Captiva, and so does the Exo. I think in terms of, you know, quality posting, it rivals the Faber-Castell Exo, as you can see here. When posted, they're almost exactly the same size. The other posters are a little bit longer, I would say to you, with the exception maybe Captiva, which is just a bigger pen to begin with. So there you have the a comparison of the pens posted. We'll put up some measurements and then get to that writing sample. Be right back. We're back for the writing sample. First of all, the ink. I've chosen to ink this pen with Mont Blanc Irish Green. I thought that would be a very nice fit. This is also a very nice ink in terms of flow, etc. So we will see how that pen performs with this ink. In terms of the paper, I'm going to go with my Tomoe River notebook. This is the notebook I used when I was on vacation to journal, and we will continue using it. There you have it, Tomoe River, lined, very, very nice notebook. Let's see what this pen does. So we'll try it out first unposted, or uncapped and unposted, and then we'll see what it looks like or feels like posted. So first of all, this is the Banju Ferris wheel. Or rings in the sky. The nib is a Banju number 5 steel, and it's black coated. The ink is Mont Blanc Irish Green, and the paper is Tomoe River Original, not the Sanson. Got to tell you, folks, the nib, let me just cap the pen to see, continue my writing sample capped. The nib is very, very nice. It's stiff as a nail, I would say. It does not give me any line variation, really. It's a medium. So I forgot to mention here, medium. But it's a very generous medium, I would say to you. Very constant, smooth, very well tuned, wet. So this is very wet. Smooth. Oh, by the way, one of the comments was that I'm assuming they're referring, the comment was referring to me, or perhaps to others, is that in order to show off the nib, when the nib is really not a good one, I have a tendency to press on the paper more so that I get more. That's absolutely false. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary here that I wouldn't do with any other pen. So, I'm not trying to impress you by the nib. I'm writing the way I usually write, and whatever you see, you see. I mean, the gentleman or the woman, depending on who it was, has to understand. I'm not trying to sell you this pen. I didn't get this. I purchased it. I was curious, and perhaps your curiosity has been touched as well, and you're wondering whether or not that pen is worthwhile purchasing for your collection, and this is why I'm doing this review. So, nobody's telling you to buy this, and nobody's telling you not to buy this, but I'm giving you my sense of what it is, and when I write, I don't try to purposely have this nib perform better by pressing on the paper. So, very wet, very smooth, and most constant. In terms of reverse writing, you can get some out of it. It's keeping up very nicely. It's kind of an extra fine line, but again, I don't think nibs are meant to be used, on the reverse. So there you have, really, the nib. I have nothing to say about it. Let's look at likes and dislikes. I like the design and the build quality of this pen. Very, very nice. I think no complaints there. Very nice. I think it's an original design. At least I'm not familiar with any other pens that have this kind of design. The build quality is excellent. In terms of a dislike, I would say it's size, but it comes with the territory. This is very subjective, I would say to you, because I prefer a bigger pen. But the pen writes very nice, and that brings us back to the nib. I think the nib is just out of the box. Just very, very, very good. Very, very good. I think it rivals, the Faber-Castell type of writing experience. Now, this is a broad, but it does remind me of it. When I do take a look at both of them, they are not the same nib. They have some similarities, but not the same. There's a little more tipping on this EXO. Same with my grip, just because they're broad nibs. This doesn't come in broad. It comes in extra fine, and medium. But I gotta tell you, very, very nice. It does post, so that, and you see, I talked quite a bit with the pen exposed, and there's no drying on me here. The flow is nice. So those are the likes. Dislikes, this is essentially it. It's just the size. I would have preferred this pen bigger size, and would have also made sense to make it, give it a number 6 size nib, but that's sometimes exaggerated, that the bigger the nib, the better it is. It's not necessarily so, and this pen does perform very, very well. In terms of value, I put the price up on the screen. I forget, frankly, what I should always check this, but yeah, give me a second. I want to check the price because that may make a difference. My apologies. I'm back. Now, the price that I've seen on AliExpress, and that's really weird because there's one offering at $100 Canadian. There's, but generally speaking, the lowest price that I've seen this pen being sold at in terms of various sellers is anywhere between $52 and $60 Canadian. And frankly, I think this pen is overpriced. At that pen, yes, it's a nice pen. It's got some good qualities. It's a very well designed and built pen. But that's that to me is a no-no. I think at this price, you can get something else. Although, as I've mentioned many times, the tendency here with Chinese pens is that the prices have increased. So other than Jinhao, you can't get pens anymore at $30. I'm sure there are some offerings at that price. And then maybe, I should do kind of an analysis to see whether or not this is now the norm. But I can tell you that at that price, I think it's overpriced. Is this a go-to pen? And again, by go-to, I mean, would this be comfortable in my daily rotation? Absolutely. I'm going to give it an 8 on 10 for go-to pen. There you have it. I'm going to sign this. So there you go. So if you were curious about this Banju Ferris wheel pen, I would get it in the blue, frankly, if it's still available, the blue kind of colored wood. Yes, it's a wooden pen, but it's well done. I don't think that, and the wood is nicely varnished, nicely finished. So I like this pen. I think it's overpriced, but I like it. So if you're curious and you think it may suit your fancy at roughly 52 Canadian, which means roughly, 35, 40 American, well, then go ahead, think about it. Otherwise, I'm sure there's other offerings. I was curious, and my curiosity was satisfied, as they say. So there you have it. We're back to our regular programming. We've at the time that this video will be published and aired, you will have seen my 2 parts of my 3-part series, The Ultimate Fountain Pen Vacation. Part 1 was Naples and Nino Marino in the Delta Factory. Part 2 was Rome. Part 3 will air next week or next weekend. And it will be Florence. Stay tuned for that. Another beautiful Grail pen odyssey, I can assure you, and surprise you with. So I hope you're enjoying those. They certainly will be part of my memorable moments. So hopefully I will be able to share my emotions with you and some fun stuff. So there you have it. If you're a first-time viewer, please subscribe. If you're a multi-time viewer, please subscribe. Thumbs up if you like this video. Leave me your comments, and I certainly will reply as quickly as my regular job will permit. Grazie molto. Arrivederci. Buona settimana. Have a great week, folks. Continue enjoying the vacation. By the way, you can tell my clothes. It's now 6 o'clock in the morning. I've just completed my video. I'm going off to play some golf. It's Sunday. And you know what? I played a great game yesterday. I hadn't played in weeks. And, the bad muscle memory wasn't there. So I'm hoping to continue on some of those par streaks that I managed to get yesterday. So there you have it. Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.